Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. I like to test the mic. I like to test the mic. I like to test the mic. Check 1 2. Okay. Sometimes the monitor doesn't turn off when they click it, so then I hear myself talking still. Good morning. It's morning time. It's 10:20 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to get started in the study. If you're watching this on YouTube or if you're just joining me for the first time, my name is Miguel Coronado. I'm an illustrator trying to make it in the world. This is the daily study group. We are a group of people that are all part of I think most of us are part of the Crimson Daggers community. And we get together and do an hour of study every day via live stream. The past few days we've been on a binge of anatomy study. Yesterday with the forearms. I'm going to go do some more forearm drawings. And there's actually like 2 more sections of forearms. Or I say sections, I mean pages. So we're going to go into some more forearm stuff. And I'm going to draw this stuff out. And then I'm going to get to drawing some stuff that's not anatomy and having some fun. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to end the stream after I'm done with this and just put on some music and keep drawing for a bit. I call it drawing. It's digital painting, but I always call it drawing because I don't really think of myself as a painter so much as a guy that draws, likes to draw. Anyway. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/IIIMCIII. It's on the screen right now if you don't know how to spell it. It's kind of hard to see. Let me zoom in. There we go. For anyone that's ever had trouble reading what the hell I put up there. My username on most websites is Mike086, or my name is Miguel Coronado. So if it doesn't say Miguel Coronado, if the user is Mike086, it's probably not me. But most art websites, I'm Mike086. On DeviantArt, CG Hub. Trying to get some more work out, really. Just draw some more stuff. Get some more pieces done. Anyway, let's get started. Let's do this. Forearms. Fitting the muscles together. If the muscles are grouped together, they can all be paired to make drawing of them easier to manage. The forearm is drawn foreshortened to show the relationship of the anatomy design. Oops, skipped a line. To show the relationship between the generic shape design and the significant anatomy underneath. The anatomy design is missing the pronator muscle to show how the flexor and extensors are separated by the bone structure. I don't know what the pronator muscle is. Oh, okay. The anatomy design is missing the pronator muscle. Okay. So, let's got a little talk about ridge muscles. Here is an arm from the underside. The ulnar crest overemphasized to show where the muscle, where it is and how it separates the flexor and extensor muscle groups. The bone is ridged over the extensor, travels elbow, wrist. There's a bone ridge muscles. The bone ridge is overemphasized to show the bone ridge travels to from the elbow to the wrist. I'll be drawing stuff in a minute. I'm just reading. If you're just joining me and don't see anything happening, it's because I haven't started anything yet. I'm just trying to before. I'm just trying to read up and make sure I'm understanding everything before I move forward. And I'm setting my timer for an hour just for today. The ridge muscles share the profile of the flexors and extensors, blending into both sides of the upper third of the forearm. The inside of the arm seats the flexor group. Okay, let's get to drawing so you can see what I'm talking about. Exaggerating the bone structure. So, if I'm reading this right, there's what we call ridge muscles, which are right on the edge. They're the part of the forearm that's really hard, where it feels like it's just bone. Just that little ridge, that's what we're talking about. That extends from the elbow to the wrist. I gotta put my stuff down, clearing some desk space so I can put down the magazine so I can read. Oh, I'm going through the anatomy magazine from Imagine Effects, featuring breakdowns and diagrams by Ron Lemon. Excuse me. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Here we go. So, we're going to talk about the ridge muscles for a little bit first. We're going to kind of cover that. And then we're going to just, we're just thinking about, I mean, I'm going through this just drawing out the drawings and reading. And kind of like just, I'll go back and like emphasize certain things that stand out to me. But everyone's got their own kind of way of studying. The only difference I have from what I'm doing now on live stream and what I would do without being on live stream is that it's slower. So I think I would cover more if I wasn't streaming this. But anyway, for me, this is the easiest way for me to kind of get this stuff in. It might not be that way for everyone. Some people might need a different method. What I'm able to do now when drawing and sketching out some people, kind of posing them, is I can think back to what I've covered in the past few sessions and I cross-check what I drew. So I sketch like I normally sketch, right? I kind of just throw out like a gesture or pose and it has a bunch of inconsistencies and such. But what I'm able to do now from doing these studies is just like before I go into any more, like before I block out my drawing in any way, I'm able to cross-check what I did with the information from the book. Now I got the book next to me too, so like I could check my own drawings and I can check the drawings from the book. But so far the things that have stood out to me since I've started doing this when I'm doing my own drawings is the pectoral muscles, and how they go into the arm area. They go into the armpit. Kind of the way that works. I just haven't ever drawn people like that. Like, I never really thought of it that way. It's not really thinking of it that way. I just didn't realize that that's how the pectorals worked, even though I've exercised and I know how. I know where the, like, you know, when you exercise you get sore, and I know where the soreness comes from when I do like a chest workout, which I haven't really done in a while. But when I was doing those, I you can feel where you're sore, and whenever you do any kind of like chest workout, or like if you did a bunch of push-ups one day, like 100, if you did like 100 push-ups, um, you there's these things called, what are they called? Butterflies. It's where you lay on the bench and you have your arms out, like you make a big T shape, and then you put your arms up in front of you. It kind of stretches your chest outward. Anyway, you're really sore right near the armpits the next day. Like you're kind of sore. That's where the muscle connects. It's right in the arm. So anyway, I just never put two and two together, which is something that's just silly, but I just didn't do it. That and like the serratus muscles, including the serratus muscles in, and like on my standard drawings now. Just like, no, at least it's not including it, but like having the knowledge that they exist there, considering that, without having to look at reference. There was a bunch of muscles I just grouped together from reference photos. Like whenever I would look up reference of like a dude that's um, like all strong or something, like a bodybuilder, I would just kind of go about it like, okay, pectorals, bicep, deltoid, some muscles that are near the abs that aren't the abs. Like I didn't really kind of put a name to it, didn't really think about it. But now I can, having kind of a working knowledge that those should go there, I can focus on my, if I do take reference photos, or if I look at reference photos, I meant to say look at reference photos. But I look at reference photos and I can now focus on like the lighting and like instead of focusing on like I can focus on the lighting instead of having to focus on like the actual construction of the body a little less. There's still certain, depending on the body type, there's certain things that happen with different people. And there's a few things that like I would still need to look at right now, and probably forever. I mean, there's always going to be like a need for a reference in terms of anatomy. I use reference for lighting all the time. Lighting reference is like my big thing that helps me a lot. Thumb would be like, it's kind of the way he drew the thumb in. It's like this. It's just like a line. Anyway. Okay, so this is going to demonstrate the twisting of the arm. So I'm going to, I'm going to copy and paste this just so I can, the reason I'm copying and pasting and not drawing it out is because I'm really trying to focus on what the drawing is demonstrating over trying to just get the drawing done. It's a simplified way of drawing that forearm, and it's not really my simplified way, it's Ron Lemon's way to explain things. So the important part for me is to just draw it out as I see it, and then make sure I understand why why I even drew it out, versus trying to make it look super awesome. In this case, in the different cases, like with lighting and rendering stuff, I normally spend a lot more time and try to make it look better. I haven't really done a rendering, like a material study. I call them rendering studies, but they're material studies. I should do one soon. Well, I mean, when I get done with these anatomy stuff, I'll do one. But I kind of just want to be on this binge of the anatomy for a little bit. I probably won't. I'm going to do composition like this, where we're going to go through, like, do composition every day. But I don't know if we're going to do an hour of composition. I think we're going to do, like, we might break it up a bit. The reason, I mean, I just feel like having variety, having like a daily variety is really good. The anatomy's been really great. But I feel like a healthy variety is good. But I do think setting us kind of a schedule has been better. Because if you're ever in that situation where, like, I haven't been lately, but if you're ever in that situation where you just don't know what to draw, or you just don't feel like drawing, like you don't feel like you know what to do, you have a set class you kind of set up a schedule that you have to follow. And there's no way to, if you do it every day, there's no way to not do it. You know, like, if I already planned out to do anatomy for 7 days, I can't sit down and say, I don't know what to draw today. Because I know I have to do an hour of anatomy. And if worse comes to worse, and I just really don't feel, like, if I'm just not getting it, A, I probably don't have client work, because client work, there's no option to not. But B, if it's just me working and, like, I'm in, like, a lull, which I am in right now, I'm not really getting any work right now. But, if I wasn't feeling it one day, I would just stay on the study and just keep studying. That's, like, the easiest thing to do. And because the schedule is kind of, it's been written out already, there's, like, no excuse to not do it. So part of me likes to be spontaneous, like, and say, oh, today I'm going to do a still life, but part of me is like, I'm glad that I wrote out the structure, because then there's just no question as to what we're going over today. So, okay, this is if you put your arm straight down to your side and put the back of your hand facing away from you, and the palm of your hand facing behind you, that's this right here. And now you begin to rotate your hand to, like, shake someone's hand. That ridge is going to rotate around, and that's this. Okay, so you understand, like, what we just drew. I don't know, actually, looking at how you drew the thumbs, it's really simple. It looks like it's supposed to be a right hand. And then it was the same hand turning. But the way the thumbs are drawn, it looks like it could be. It could have been a left hand. You kind of look at how I drew the thumbs. I drew them like the diagram, so. But anyway, I feel like it's supposed to be right hand. Yeah, anyway. So I think it's supposed to be. Fitting the muscles together. The muscles are grouped together so they can be paired to make the drawing them easier to manage. The forearm is drawn foreshortened to show the relationship between the generic shape design and significant anatomy underneath. The anatomy design is missing the pronator muscle to show the flexors and the extensors. Okay, so I'm going to first draw this arm. just like, I'll do it in 2 steps. It's not drawn in 2 steps, but there's a similar drawing right next to it that I feel like was step 1. So first you're going to draw like a cylinder, and this is just a build off of, so it's not like we're, we wouldn't necessarily draw this way if we're working on a piece. Muscle here. Sorry if I'm getting kind of quiet. Right now there's not much to say. I kind of read a lot, and I just need to draw it. If you're following, I guess you know what, I guess I could say this. If you're following along on YouTube or the archives later, or even if you're doing it now, I'm not drawing. If you're actually following along with my studies, if you're just doing your own thing, it doesn't apply to you. But if you're actually following along with what I'm doing, my drawings aren't accurate. Like, they're not as accurate as they could be. Don't try and mimic my drawings thinking that you're getting the most accurate representation of the diagrams in the book, because I'm drawing with the intention of me drawing these shapes isn't to recreate the diagrams perfectly. It's to understand what's going on. So I'm taking a look at these more correct diagrams and trying to understand what's going on in those diagrams. But y'all are seeing the copy of a diagram filtered through my mind. So there's on every diagram there's always these contour lines I haven't been drawing as much, to kind of show the form, the volume. And they're slightly off. Like, I'm drawing pretty fast to try and get it down. I'm not taking a lot of time making it look really nice. Which I guess I could. I could make them look more nice, but I also want to get through a greater portion of the book right now, because I'd rather come back to this and see new things. I'd rather come back and find out new things than try and swamp my brain with new information and only retain a little bit. I pick up a few little things today, and then if I come back later when I'm actually drawing someone, pick up a few more things tomorrow. Or whenever it is, whenever I happen to need to draw forearm muscles. Anyway, just a kind of a disclaimer. And if you haven't heard my disclaimers from the other videos, I'm not trying to teach anything. I've taught before. I've taught art to kids, but it was how to draw 101, something that I could teach easily to kids. But we're not teaching. We're just studying aloud. So that's something that everyone should just kind of keep in the back of their head, that I'm not trying to teach anything. I'm not trying to teach anything. End the sentence. Period. I'm not trying to teach anything. I'm just trying to do the studies and show that I'm doing them for other people to be like, well, if he could do them, then I can do them. But also, one of the biggest things is just like, if I'm saying something that I'm noticing that you don't notice, it's just better to have like a second set of eyes working on this stuff, so that excuse me, so that you can pick up information you might not have thought about when you were doing them on your own. I was watching Alex Negria's YouTube video. His tutorial on he has a tutorial on how to render armor, how to like shade armor, and picked up a few tips from that, like as far as like what to consider when you're making like metallics. But the biggest thing I picked up was how to accurately use the pen tool, which I've never actually learned until I watched that video. And the pen tool just helps carve out, your shapes ahead of time, and he just has a really good like knowledge of the Photoshop functions, like more so than I've seen other illustrators talk about. Most of the other illustrators I see that do digital painting, lots of them are just like, yeah, I only use one layer, or like I try to get to using 1 or 2 layers as soon as I can. Like they try and minimize the layer usage. But Alex Negria has a very systematic, very convenient way of working with his layers. And it's really cool to watch. So if you go to his channel, Alex Negria, I'll put it in the chat if you don't know who he is. If you know who he is, then you know what I'm talking about. If you Google him and go to his YouTube channel, he's got really good, some really good videos up. The one about the armor rendering has a bunch of, he talks about like using the pen tool and little things that some of you might already know. But I've used the pen tool, I just didn't realize how to correctly use the pen tool. Okay. So I've drawn on 2 layers, a set of muscles. One of them, on this top layer, I kind of just retraced over some of the forearm muscles. After I was drawing it, I realized that like kind of the only difference with the 2 things I had drawn was the fact that you put the bicep and the tricep on. That was really it. I don't know why I thought it was going to be adding muscles on top of the other muscles. Anyway, so we're going to go into a foreshortened arm. So this is like anytime you ever have a character that's got his arm kind of facing forward. We're going to start with the cylinder. I'm going to not try and mess up the cylinder as much as I just did. I might look too chicken scratchy. There's also several good lectures about the history of film posters on YouTube by this graphic designer named Victor Moreno. And he's got several videos or like lectures, like 40-minute long talks about history of poster design. Victor Moreno. You just like go onto YouTube and search him, or you can. I think I'm subscribed to both of them on YouTube, so you could go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mike086. What is this? What happened to my pen? There we go. And my subscriptions, I have a bunch of art YouTube channels. Mostly art YouTube, like artists and tutorial stuff. I actually should take the time to just go through and watch some of those videos. Like some more than I have been recently. I'm kind of behind on. There's a lot of people putting out stuff now, and I'm kind of behind on like what's out there. I haven't watched. I watched only like 4 of the Psychra videos. He's got some cool interviews. And then I watched that one Alex Negrio. I'm probably gonna. I think he's selling a video. Like he has like you can buy it for $10 or something. It's like a video on like. It's supposed to be how to digitally paint in like 5 hours. Like learn to digitally paint in 5 hours, and like he does like a study of a PlayStation controller, and it looks like almost photo real by the time he's done with it. But the big thing that I like, that I've seen in that video, is that from watching his other video, I know that he has this huge knowledge of like Photoshop shortcuts and how to use tools properly. Like, really good knowledge of that. And he has really efficient workflows. So I'm thinking of watching that video, buying that video and watching it so I can just kind of learn the workflows that he's got and just pick up on a better way of organizing my layers. He's just got a really efficient way of doing it that it's just cool to see. Watch someone work with like a really great knowledge of Photoshop. I don't know if you've ever watched or if you've ever heard some of Dave Raposa's talks, but he and a few other artists that are like, they use Photoshop all the time, but I don't think they don't take as much time to learn like some of the like workflow stuff. They just paint. They just do it, which is great too. That's kind of like where I'm from now at this point. I just do it, even though I know there's just like easier ways to go about certain things. I just paint it in. Just do it. But anyway, Alex Negria. It's a good understanding of Photoshop. I'm trying to make this look a little more correct, just because I don't want it to look so terrible. After talking about how sometimes the diagrams don't exactly match up, I kind of want to fix that. Okay, it's close enough. I'm going to draw on top of this anyway. So, the way he's broken it up, that oops, that wasn't shift at all. The way he's broken it up is he's got a simplified forearm, which consists of a block and then this round shape. It's not so terrible though. Oops. Okay. So this is around, think of it like a, kind of like a bowling pin or a drumstick. He actually draws a bowling pin next to it. But, think of a bowling pin or a drumstick. And then what we're doing is we're rotating. If you're thinking about how to draw the forearm, you just gotta think about it in terms of like rotating that on the, let's see, if that's the y-axis, and this is the x-axis, rotating it on the y-axis. Okay. So take that shape, which is like a square, and like a, it's like a kind of like a bowling pin that the top's been kind of flattened. Rotate it. From there, you can build off. Oh crap! Oh, excuse me. I was up late. I woke up earlier, and I had to do some laundry. Haven't finished my coffee. I guess I could also say today that I'm gonna try and do these studies at a regular time for like the next 3 months. Every morning, every day. So that would be what I'll probably do is Monday through Friday, a regular study time every day in the morning. And Saturday and Sunday, I'll do maybe like start up an hour later, just to give myself some, like, a little bit of a break. Like if I'm out late or something on those nights, I can kind of wake up a little later, and we'll call it like study brunch or something, something like that. What I'll do is I'll update the Google Doc and the thread. But I'm going to have a regular schedule for about a few months. It's mainly because I'll be house sitting with my girlfriend, and because I'll be house sitting, there'll be no need for me to like travel a lot, because she and I will be like in the same place just for 3 months. So 3 months of at least 3 months, ideally, work starts coming in, and then I could extend that to an even longer time, just regular study. Like I've said this before, one of the goals is to just get some regular freelance coming in, so I can be too busy to do the studies on live stream every morning. Like, I'd like to get so busy that I can just I have to make it like a less frequent thing. I would still do studies on my own, but I'm talking about like going on to live stream and doing them. trying to make sure I drew this correctly. So, just quickly about this diagram I'm drawing. There's a muscle missing from this diagram. What I'm drawing in this diagram is the forearm with this, what's it called? There's a muscle that's the pronator muscle. It's not in this diagram. The pronator muscle would be here. It's missing purposefully so we can see how the muscles underneath kind of wrap. This one's coming from back here around to the front, and likewise this one's starting back here and going around to the front to the opposite side because they crisscross. I think the crisscross, hold on, let me take a look at that. I might have said something wrong. It doesn't look like the crisscross. They probably do, like, I think the tendons crisscross where the muscles... No, they crisscross. They do. I think according to everything else we've kind of looked at the past day, I know that they crisscross over. Okay. Now we're gonna just go into another one. Let's see here. You gotta... I'm like, I've created too many layers. I'm gonna draw the arm, and we're gonna populate it with muscles in two positions. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading. There's a... So, if you take your arm and put down your pencil or whatever you're working with, just put your right hand out, make it parallel with the ground, point the fingertips away from you. The ridge muscles on your forearm cause the upper arm, the part that's facing the ceiling now, if you're doing this correctly, to slightly arch upward. And if you put your palm, turn your palm to face the ceiling now, you have your fingers away from you, your forearm is parallel to the ground. Those ridge muscles have now switched positions so that the arch of your forearm is now below you. It's going towards the ground. But the rotation of those ridge muscles creates that arc. And that's something you got to consider, because that is dependent upon whether your palm is kind of rotated up or down, because your forearm muscles are rotating your palm up and down. They're rotating the wrist, which is rotating the palm. So when a character has his palms facing up, when he or she has their palms facing up, you're going to have a greater ridge facing downward. And then when the palms are facing down, the ridge will be facing upward. It's really slight. It's not like a giant, unless you're drawing like a cartoon character. It's not like a giant thing. It's not a huge, like, it's not a huge change. It's subtle. You know, you can kind of see it, and unless you like have super huge forearms because you work out all the time, you don't really see it as much. So I'm going to draw just the arm now. And anyway, this is just the arm with the muscle groups, and with the focus on how they fit together. So I'm just kind of blocking it out lightly, and I'm going to go back over it with a darker color and actually finalize the we're going to finalize the line making. I just want to kind of get the proportions right by blocking it out faster. And yeah, like I said, I'll clean this up in a second, so just bear with me while I get the general shape blocked out. Okay. This little diagram I'm drawing here is not going to, everything I just said about the whole like arcing of the forearm, this diagram doesn't show that. That's another diagram. But I said all that stuff because I don't think I'm going to draw those diagrams. I just wanted to kind of demonstrate it visually, like with you. If you followed along with what I just said, then you saw what I'm talking about. And all you gotta do is put your palm, face your palm down, then turn your palm up, and you'll see that the ridge changes, causing the arch of the forearm to change, which is something to consider when you're drawing a character, and the position of the wrists of the character will dictate the curvature of that forearm, which is it's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's subtle, so depending on what kind of clothing they're going to wear too, it won't really matter. But it's important enough to know. I mean, like, it kind of helps you out a lot. Excuse me, I'm gonna drink some coffee. Okay. So we're going to start from the top and work our way down. Because in this way, we're kind of starting from where we were, what we did learn, and going into the new stuff. So deltoids up here. Oh my god, hold on. I gotta like sit correctly. Okay. Deltoids up here. It's gonna come down. The deltoid, if we learned from the last few lessons, drapes over the shoulder and the arm, kind of like a towel on a rod. Okay. Then there are these coraca brachialis, or whatever that is. It's the two sets of muscles underneath the bicep, and you only see a little bit of them. They kind of come out depending on how big depending on the physique of the character or the person. They only come out just so. The tricep is the opposite of the bicep. It's going to be the opposite side of the arm. By opposite, I mean opposite side of the arm, literally. Here's more of that coraca brachialis right here. So it appears, hides, and then kind of reappears. Going in, putting in the bicep now. The bicep's just a big shape. It's going to come down. We're going to go ahead and give it a small taper, and I'll show you why in a second. And then tricep's going to go all the way down, like we went over the past couple days. Tricep goes all the way down to the elbow. And now we're going to start with the new stuff. So the bicep is going to, okay, if this is the left arm, the bicep crosses towards the chest and around. So depending on which arm you're drawing, if you're drawing the right arm, you would do it opposite, obviously. You know, the tendon would go like that. There. It's easy to do it that way. If it was a right arm, the tendon would go in towards the chest still. It always goes towards the chest. Yeah, but if it's left, it's better that way. Okay. Now there's a brachioradialis. And we drew that already up here. That's this big chunky muscle on the forearm. What happened? Photoshop. Pick up my stylus. Stop doing this. Here we go. This chunky muscle here, that's the you can't read it, my handwriting's not great. Brachioradialis. Brachioradialis. And so we're going to draw that. What you're going to notice is that we're drawing it in perspective, slightly foreshortened. And the reason we're doing it that way is because the drawing is supposed to demonstrate, we're trying to demonstrate how all the muscles interact together. So basically all we're doing is, we did this drawing up here, and now we're doing it again with more muscles, just so that you can see how these are supposed to go together. So it's like the exact same hand position, but you know, slightly different. Actually, I think it's almost virtually the exact same hand position. Almost virtually the exact. It's too many words. It's virtually the exact. It's virtually the same hand position. That's all I have to say. There's another group of muscles that come across. They're going to attach somewhere in here. And then there's like a hint of these last two muscles here. Which connects to the wrist. And then from here, it appears like it just goes straight back. So I feel like what you don't see is that it crisscrosses to the other side of the wrist. I feel that way because we drew that before. That's why. If I'm wrong, then... Well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's it. There's nothing more to say. But anyway. And he has this tendon going around kind of into the muscle. Just so you all know. So that's just kind of that's how the drawing looks. Then there's like a hint of some other forearm muscle right here. Just a hint of it. And then that corica brachialis continues and gets like buried into this mess right here. And then there's like a hint of another muscle right here. Okay? And then likewise there's another hint of muscle, which I think is, this actually might be the bone. This is like a hint of the bone right here. It might be, it might not be. I mean, it's not like, that's not labeled. So. Okay. And like I said, all these have like these contour marks. Okay. And those contour marks are just to show the volume. They're not to symbolize the fibers of the muscle. Just, hope no one thinks that. Because we're like in day, I don't know. We're like in what day are we in on anatomy? We're like past day 7, I think. But if this whole time you thought those are the fibers of the muscles, then you've never seen a human body. Because that's not how they look. Anyway. So now I'm going to draw, pretend I have a camera, and pretend the camera is on the right side. And if the camera was on the outer right side, like right here, here's the camera lens. Here's this derpy camera. That's terrible. Sorry, I've got my dual screens open too, so I'll try and give myself an excuse, because it does affect my stylus moves a lot faster than it should. Anyway, we're going to draw from this angle next. So it's the same thing, but we're just switching the angles up. And there's a reason for it, and I'll explain that in a second as soon as I finish drawing it. Let me just block it out, get the proportions right. Ah, crap, I need to email some people. I'm supposed to meet up with some local illustrators on Sunday to sketch and hang out. And I forgot to email them. I need to email them and tell them we're doing it. Or else it's just going to be me. I'm just going to draw kind of quickly. I'm going to draw like from the most important part of this diagram, which is right here. And we're going to go out from there. I'm drawing the way the diagram is portrayed. So the way it looks to me is it kind of goes here and down, but then it kind of just stops, like, and then here it fleshes out. This is very much a kind of squared off look, or it's like a tube really, but this is the bicep, and this actually kind of looks more pinched. And then this bone is very much a square for this diagram, so it's like a prism. And it's just one. It's not broken up. There's 2 bones in the forearm, but this is, in this case, is being depicted as one. One with some contour lines. So it's like a simplified version of 2 bones that's been combined into 1 bone. But the contour lines look better than that. Anyway. Let me start up a new layer. And I need to quit making new layers because I keep just piling them on. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I don't save these Photoshop files. I just save the JPEGs. And the file's lost forever. Muscle. Looks like there's another muscle. And this stuff kind of terminates down here at the elbow. This stuff, I mean, this is the tricep. And the other side, it's a little higher. And then the brachial chorda Corticobrachialis, coracobrachialis, whatever. Anyway, the little muscle underneath the bicep. It's right. If this goes back here and terminates, that muscle is right here. To kind of give you an idea of what we're drawing. And then the bicep just kind of goes up. And the deltoid is not pictured. The important, like the whole reason we drew this diagram is switching the camera angle, right? That's one of the things, and that's just good to practice. But the reason we switch the camera angle is to show how these muscles interact. How these muscles interact with the other muscles on an armature. In this case, like these faux skeleton we drew at. So basically, and I'm going to draw another little diagram real quick to kind of further explain this point. The reason we drew these two diagrams to begin with is because they depict how the muscles interact with each other. They're kind of awkward. Like, I don't think many people draw the character with the hands just at a 90-degree angle with the arm parallel. You know, like, I don't think many people just draw it personally. It's pretty static. Like, it's just, like, if it's a guy holding, like, a cafeteria tray, that's, like, the position the arm's in. Likewise, this is a 90-degree angle, but just from above. But the main focus, the main reason we're doing any of this is so we can look at how the bicep and the supinators interact. So those are these two muscles in the forearm that I just drew them, but I'm going to draw them again. These two muscles are like, you know, like two pieces of bread, like two baguettes. Two baguettes. Here's the bone. That's where it tapers, right? And then the hand's right here. Just so y'all get the idea of what I'm drawing. Hand. Two baguettes. And then there's a bicep that comes off here. And we're going to like slice it. We're just going to show kind of in 3 dimensions that the bicep fits in between these muscles. And actually, he did it at a better angle. Let me kind of redo it again. It's like this shape that's created. Crap. Kind of like a mushroom shape. It's like this, it's it's like drawn better than this, that's what it is. But oop, that's my timer. Okay, I'll finish this up and then I'll draw some, probably draw some like just random stuff, but anyway, this is just This is just not good. So it is. This is this rotated, right? See how I drew these like I kind of drew them flat. I should have drawn with the perspective, whatever. But it's the same thing, just turned, just to show you that the muscle is pinched in between these two muscles. Okay. And remember, real quickly, if your palm is facing down, the ridge muscles create an arch in your forearm. That faces down. I'm sorry, faces up. The arch is up. If your palm is facing up, then the arch is down. It's slight. It's not like I'm exaggerating it, okay? So like it's not like this exactly. But just to illustrate the point, as I am an illustrator, this is what I do. Clearly, that's why you're listening. Alright. This is palm up, palm down. Okay? Real basic, real quick. There's some more stuff. There's a whole, like another spread of stuff. The brachioradialis, the forearm ridge muscles. So this, the brachioradialis is this. We'll just call it the BR for short. Brachioradialis. That muscle wraps. Here's the humerus, which is the upper arm muscle. Okay? And then here's like a what is that? Sorry, I'm just trying to read something. There's a lot more muscles right in here, but let's say here are the two bones for the forearm, just simplified. The brachioradialis curves around and down from the humerus, from the upper forearm. So this is one of the muscles that makes a transition from upper arm to forearm, right? And then right here on this edge of the bone, there's a set of muscles that comes down. The set right here, the brachioradialis. It comes up and it wraps around, and the bicep would be here. Just so y'all understand like what we're drawing. Okay. The extensor, the extensor carpi radialis. Excuse me. Extensor carpi radialis. Excuse me. Oh. Jesus. Okay. I'll do kind of a quick, one more view. If here's the bone, the humerus, it's right here. If these muscles are the coraca brachialis. Coraca brachialis. They're the muscles underneath the bicep. We're not going to draw the bicep right now, so you're just not going to see it. Here's the bone for the forearm. Here's that the brachioradialis. And remember, it comes around from the upper arm. And it's actually going to kind of like, it's going to, when you draw it with the other muscles, it's going to appear to stay on the outside. But in reality, it's actually wrapping and rotating around underneath. We just can't see that right now. Brachioradialis. Oh my god. These names. Medical stuff. Okay. And then, what is this one? This is the extensor carpi radialis brevis. These are the same two we just drew, okay? It's right here. I'll scan over to the other one in a second. So these things we just drew here, where I was telling you how they wrap, these are the same two muscles, but like from another view. The extensor digiti minimi. That's the judging by the name of that muscle, it sounds like it's the one that controls the fingers. Okay, so this extensor digiti minimi, this whatever. This goes all the way into the wrist. We'll call the wrist right here. And then there's this goddamn pollicis adductor longus, and the pollicis extensor brevis, and the retinaculum. It just looks like this. It's just another cylinder. It's like another cylinder that's coming out from. This one goes here, goes all the way down to here, and this one extends out. To here. So it's like 1, 2, and then like the third one's gonna hug. It looks really messy. Well, let me clean it up just real quick. It's 1, 2. That third one really hugs in, and because it's actually wrapping underneath, it's gonna kind of hug in. And then there's a Anconius. I don't know what that is, but it's like right here. It's this little one. It's the one that gets bruised up when you try to give blood and the nurse doesn't know what they're doing. And there's this one here, which is the flexor digitorum profundus. Alright. Then you got the wrist. Okay? So the grouping is like so. Just clean it up a bit. There's a 1, 2, 3. This one here, let me kind of widen it out. This one here needs to be a little wider. The reason this one's wider is because there's actually 2 muscles right here that are like right next to each other. Okay. Okay. I think there's a 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm missing like 2 muscles. Maybe I did it wrong. Okay, so there's a. This is another muscle here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's like one that's super packed in right here. The way it's drawn out, these 2 muscles help control your thumb. Okay, you kind of understand like what's going on now, like where things are, why they're there, like why you exist in the way you do, and you were designed to be a killing machine. Oh, I meant an art machine. Okay, so there's 5 muscles here. 5. I'm not going to try and pronounce them again. 2 here. 1, 2. And then there's this one that's just, it's on its own. And there's this one that's kind of on its own. And this is a muscle too. This little like tube I drew. This is the corica brachialis, which you don't normally see because the biceps on top of that. You don't see it from that angle because the biceps on top of that. There's one last diagram. Or there's a few more. I mean, there's like a couple diagrams, but there's one last one that I think I'd like to draw. But I'm going to stop because I gotta do other things. I gotta do other things, and then I'm going to study anatomy from every book you could find, including muscle magazines and fitness books. Don't just copy drawings, examine the construction. Don't just copy drawings, examine the construction, memorize the names and the bones. Then practice whenever you can. Redraw the charts and label them from your head. Drawing the chart once or twice is not enough to memorize them. Drawing with memory helps you reflect on how much has been absorbed. It's a good point, Ron. I will be doing these drawings again, people. I'm gonna move on. The day I do these drawings again, I probably won't live stream them. I'll just focus on doing it myself. I might go over it later, but that'll be later on. There's a few more diagrams. I'm not going to draw them because I'm going to finish up now and do some other stuff. But tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and jump onto the hands. Hands, number 1. Oh, excuse me. So, the mechanics of anatomy, the hand, the bones in the hand, holding things. Okay. Excuse me. If this is your first time watching, or if you found this on YouTube somewhere, sometime in the future, there's a thread in the Crimson Daggers forum. It's in the section called Partner and Group Dailies. That's where we post all these images up. The thread hosts the images, so the images shouldn't ever go down unless something happens with the forum. Daily study group. I didn't post the other video yet, but it's still in the archive, so. Oops, I forgot my second monitor's open. Still in the archive. If it's go to you go to the Crimson Daggers forum. There's a sub forum called Study Group, and then there's like I guess a subgroup called Partner/Group Dailies. And right now we're the daily study group, and we're normally on top as far as because everyone's updating on a daily basis, so we're kind of bumping ourselves up to the top every day. So I'm assuming no matter what time you find this video, there'll be someone doing the daily study group, so that thread will still be up. If you don't like me, if you don't feel like watching my videos, CJ Marsh is also live streaming every day. Here myself are live streaming every day for an hour. If he doesn't go on, I cover, and I'm going to be doing it. So, but if I don't, what do you call it? Crap. If I don't make it on the stream, he'll be on the stream, and if he doesn't make it on the stream, I'll be on the stream. One of us is streaming every day for an hour, doing a study. The purpose of the group is to kind of give people a place to meet up and study on a daily basis, like a definite place to meet up and study. If you ever don't know what to do, or if you don't know what to study, there's always someone in the daily study group doing stuff, and there's always a lesson plan up. In the thread you will find the lesson plan for the daily study group in a Google Doc. So you're going to go in the thread, go to Google Doc. It's open for you to view. You can't edit it, but you can comment on it if you have any feedback you'd like to give. But really it's just CJ and I. We each have our own lesson plan. He's going from the... we both happen to be doing anatomy now, but in the future it might be different. So, currently he's doing the Michael Hampton anatomy book. I'm doing the exercises from this Imagine Effects, how to draw and paint anatomy issue, featuring breakdowns and information by Ron Lemon. And anyway, in case you're wondering what that is, you can get it like a Barnes & Noble, or you can buy it online. But it's pretty much like a magazine. It talks about anatomy. I'll go over different anatomy books later. I wanted to start here because it's a very specific type of breakdown that I wanted to go over. Like, this is kind of what I wanted to learn. The muscle groups and how they're interacting. We're gonna have another lesson plan as soon as we're done with this anatomy. I'm gonna go into composition for a while. But I'll probably be switching it up. I don't think I'm gonna do straight composition every day. I think we'll do it every other day. So the composition one day, photo study one day, composition one day, photo study one day. Gonna go back and forth it. That way we have like a combination of rendering, kind of lighting through photography, composition, and then I still need to plan out a still life day with CJ. Everyone just gets on the stream, still life. Oh. Excuse me. Everyone will get on the stream and just do a still life for like 2 hours, something, 2.5 hours. We'll have to set that up and kind of coordinate that better. What the idea would be, like, everyone gets on the stream, has the same kind of thing, so like everyone has like one piece of fruit, one piece of cloth, something that's metal, or something of interest. So like several different objects set up, and then everyone does a still life. The same day at the same stream. But yeah, so I think that's all the information. CJ Marsh, he's on the Crimson Daggers forum. You can find his links to his live stream are in links to his live stream are in the thread for the study group. And yeah. Crap. So if you go there, you can see the links to his live stream. It's I think everyone's doing it for like an hour, so at least an hour. If you go over, it's more, it's up to you if you want to go over. I try and do at least an hour at the very least, and then just kind of guarantees that I definitely got an hour in. And you got to look at it this way too. It's cumulative. So if you study for an hour every day, by the end of the week, you've studied for 7 hours. 7 hours. I mean, it's right. We normally go over, so like some days I'll go for an hour and 20 minutes or something. And not like talking like this, I mean, but like actually doing the drawing of the study. By the end of the week, you've done 7 hours of studying total, which is almost an entire day of. It's pretty much an entire day of school, because you go to school for 8 hours, but you have lunch, and you have like think about how school works. You got like a lunch break, and there's some time in the morning, and there's like crossing periods. Normally, you get like 10 minutes crossing period. So by the end of the week, ideally, you've pretty much studied for like an entire day of school, equivalent. That's something that it does add up. It does more than just doing an hour a day is more than nothing, right? I mean, like sometimes studies are better for longer sessions, especially like still life. Or like photo study even. The longer you spend on it, the more time you have to soak up information. I prefer doing longer still life stuff and longer photo stuff where I don't really have a time limit. I just work and put stuff down. But that's yeah, but that's anyway. We'll be doing that later on the stream. Right now I'm trying to just keep it at an hour. Sorry, I'm just reading through the forum real quick to just see what people have done. Make sure I posted my thing correctly. The videos will post up onto YouTube eventually. I might be a couple days behind, but it takes a few months before livestream starts deleting stuff, so I'm not in a rush. You can find these videos on the archive, and then if you are on YouTube and you're watching this video out of order and you don't know what I'm talking about, go to livestream.com/MCIII. That's my live stream channel, and that's what I'm talking about when I mean the archive. The archive is the group of videos underneath this video. So, where am I? Here we go. Oops. Jungle Pants. Not yet. No, this is not that time yet. I don't have a set time. I do it whenever. I just make myself do it for an hour at some point. So it's kind of sporadic right now, but I'll actually set up a regular time. Probably starting tomorrow. I'll set up a regular time and I'll post it in the thread, and everyone will be able to join at one time every day for the next few months. And I think that'll make things a lot easier for lots of people. I feel like it's easier for people to come in the morning time, like or around this time. It's like almost lunch now, but I'll probably be streaming every morning at here, I'll link it to you real quick. Hold on, I'm just opening up the thread. Every morning at either 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I think that's a doable, like that's a regular doable time, which allowed me to get up, kind of wake up, and like get on, talk for an hour, and then get off and go about my day. I might try and do it earlier, because I like to have breakfast, which means I might like to get up. I might like to stream it at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, so that I'm done by 9. Can have like a late breakfast and then go about my day. I feel like that's more how I'd like to do it. Am I doing it? Yeah, I'm trying to do as much drawing as I can every day, and I'll stream a lot of it most of the time. If I do get client work in, I don't stream that. But yeah, I'm trying to. If I'm not drawing, I'm like emailing my portfolio out. Like if I'm not drawing, I'm trying to get to drawing. I'm trying to get to the point where I can draw. So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna come back on and draw for a while until I have to go. But I gotta pack up stuff because I'm gonna be house sitting for like 3 months. So anyway, I'm gonna end the stream. That way the video saves, just in case y'all are new to live stream too. That after a certain point, the live stream ends the feed. It's not for a while. It takes like 4 hours. But I'm gonna jump back on as soon as I turn off the stream. I'm gonna turn it back on and just do some drawing. I don't exactly know what I'm going to draw yet, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's the forum. I'll post up the schedule as soon as I get settled into the schedule. So, anyway, thanks for joining me. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/iiimcii, or if you go to my website, www.mcii.net, you can find like all the links to my profiles and stuff, and just let's get connected, and I'll see your work, you see mine. You know how it works. That's basically it. So bye.